Hey guys, I'm so excited to talk to you about the new Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. As the poster says, it's not a reboot, it's a comeback. And that is exactly true. This is not a reboot. This is very much the real lives of Chip and Dale, everybody's favorite goofy chipmunk duo. I'm so excited to dive into a spoiler-free review for this movie. However, before we get into it, if this is your first time here, I'd love it if you take 1 second and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on videos like this one. Okay, let's talk Chip and Dale. Hey, Tessa from MamasGeeky here. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel. Overall, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is very Who Framed Roger Rabbit meets Space Jam: A New Legacy. Space Jam: A New Legacy in terms of all the cameos and incredible Easter eggs and references that we get to other franchises and other properties, including Disney and so many more. And then, of course, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because this feels very much like a real-life story, just like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And there are maybe some references to Dip. It's not exactly Dip, but I will say it is just as creepy, just as dark, and just as interesting as the story of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which, of course, makes me very excited as a massive fan of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Okay, so I'm a massive fan of the Rescue Rangers cartoon that came out forever ago. I'm old, I'm showing my age, I know it, but it was one of my favorite shows. So I was very excited when they announced there was going to be a Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie. It's not, I mean, it is, yes, but it's not. This is very much the real lives, so to speak, of Chip and Dale. They've been estranged for years, which you will find out why at the beginning of this film. And now they must come together, they must work together, they must put aside their differences to solve a real-life crime, a real-life mystery, and help a friend in need. Now, I don't want to go into too many details because there is a lot of fun surprises in this movie. But let's start off with what we could all tell from the trailer: cameos. Cameos, 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 cameos. There's so many. This is one giant Easter egg cameo-filled fan service movie, but it's so much more than that. But this is where it kind of reminds me of Space Jam: A New Legacy. You'll have scenes where there's probably, I mean, there's so many cameos that you would have to pause and sit there and take like at least a solid 10 minutes to go through and pick every single character or reference that you see out. Now, there are a lot of references through the dialogue as well and other things that happen that are very much Easter eggs to certain franchises, certain films, and I'm not talking just Disney properties. In fact, there is a surprise cameo that completely steals the show. I'm not going to say what it is, who it is, but this is a reoccurring thing, and it is phenomenal. It is fantastic. I literally laughed every single time this character was a part of this movie, and I'm so excited for the world to see it, and I can't wait to see reactions to this character. I will not spoil it. I will not ruin it. You will know what I'm talking about when you watch this movie. But there's tons of other cameos and references that are just so much fun. But it doesn't take away from the story, and it doesn't ruin the story. It actually makes sense in the story. There are conventions in the story that they go to. So this makes sense that these cameos and these characters are there and they are present. So that is what I love about this. They make it work. Where, yes, Space Jam: A New Legacy had a basketball game, but they were just like, all these characters are just showing up to watch. This fits more because they're background characters in a convention, and it made sense, and there's so many amazing ones. I'm not going to ruin any for you guys, but I will just tell you there's so much fun. Of course, we also saw Seth Rogen showing up as Bob, that character that's not looking at you, but kind of looking at you. You know, they talk about that weird, creepy 2000s of realistic animation that was going on, and there's a lot of that in this movie. Not a whole ton, but basically every time Bob opens his mouth, he's got something hilarious to say. I mean, it's Seth freaking Rogen. He's hilarious. I love his character. I think he's a lot of fun. And then combined with Chip and Dale, the three of them are just hilarious. There's certainly some eye-rolling jokes in here. There are some that are like, wow, this was totally put in for the kids. Like, my girls who are 9 and 10 are cracking up, and I'm like, all right, that was a little too cheesy. A little too cheesy, but, I mean, there's some really, really great ones, too. Oh my God, I'm thinking of so many that I want to spew, but I don't want to ruin it for you guys. And then when we talk about Chip and Dale, let's talk about the voices. Andy Samberg and John Mulaney are absolutely perfect for these roles. Of course, Andy Samberg is goofy and plays the stupid, dumb. I mean, they say he's not the smartest Okay, he's not the brightest bulb. He's not the brightest crayon in the box, so to speak, all right? Dale. And then we have John Mulaney, who plays the more serious Chip. And this works. They fully embrace their characters. Their voices are perfect. I don't know if they recorded together or separate, but it feels like a lot of this was improv. It feels like a lot of this was them playing off each other, and I really thoroughly enjoyed them coming together in this movie. I also find it very interesting that we have Dale, who's had that surgery to give him the 3D effect, and then throughout the whole movie we have Chip, who's still in that 2D animation. I thought that was a lot of fun, having the two of them like that against each other, playing off each other. It's just throughout the whole thing, the way they look, it's so great. When it comes to the human element, I mean, we have this character Ellie who's working alongside them to help them out, and while she is good in this role, this is where things get weird. It's always hard when you're dealing with an actual human and then a whole bunch of animated stuff, because obviously they're not really acting against anything. They're acting against green beanbags or who knows what, and it is kind of obvious in certain scenes where they're supposed to be touching or interacting, but I mean, it's very easy to look away from it and just kind of ignore it to enjoy the movie as itself. Now, it is actually a really fun, interesting plot. It's a crime mystery, and there's twists and turns, and it's kind of fun to sit there and try to piece everything together and figure out exactly what is going on. Try to solve the mystery before Chip and Dale can solve the mystery. It's entertaining, and I was wrong, I'll admit it, which made it even more fun. Now, my kids figured it out, so maybe it's a little bit predictable. Maybe I was thinking too much into it. I don't know, but I thoroughly enjoyed the story. I think it's great. We've got Sweet Pete, who you guys have seen in the trailer, which is Peter Pan. I don't want to talk too much about that, but I will say he's a great character as well. There's some action scenes in this that surprised me. Like, I was surprised how much action there was and like how hard and full they went. There's some fantastic scenes that I can't even talk about, but I really, really want to talk about, but I don't want to ruin them. There's so much in this movie it's just fun. It's like an hour and 37 minutes, and it's entertaining from beginning to end. It is not perfect, but there is a lot to love about it. Not just the cameos and the fan service. The story is actually a lot of fun too. But the cameos are pretty amazing, and I promise you, when that surprise character comes out, I can't wait for you guys to all tell me your response, because my mind was blown, and I absolutely loved it. So, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's still absolutely worth watching. There's all that nostalgia. There's tons of references back to Rescue Rangers, which if you're a Rescue Rangers fan like me, you'll thoroughly love and appreciate. The acting is great. It's just some of the dialogue's a little cheesy. Some of the jokes are a little for adults anyway, but there's still some adult humor in here as well, and some adult references. And then, like I said, the plot is actually very interesting. I couldn't figure it out. I thought I knew, and then I changed my mind. Don't ever second guess yourself, people. That's the real lesson here. There's actually some really important life lessons in this movie as well. So you guys, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, it comes exclusively to Disney Plus on May 20th, and you guys don't want to miss it. If by the time you've already gotten to this review, you've seen the movie, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. If you haven't watched it yet, let me know if you're looking forward to it and why, and what you've thought of the trailers. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on videos like this. You can follow me over on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I'm at MamasGeeky on all those platforms, MamasGeeky. You can also check me out at MamasGeeky.com. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much to all of my monetary supporters, my members here on YouTube, as well as my patrons. If you haven't joined yet, please consider doing so. We have some really awesome perks, including a monthly Zoom meeting where we get to talk face to face. Thank you again to everyone who supports me.